I have a nice piece of cube cooked chert. I'm going to try to make a blade out of this. I'm going to start out with a 2.5 inch bopper. There's no lead in the cap, just taped on to the PVC pipe. Okay, so let's see, this is an extra bit here, so we can get rid of this corner here and make us a platform go down this ridge. Get down here, turn it over, trim a little bit here, see how far we can run down this ridge now. Alright, let's see, we need to go across here some. A lot of thickness in here. Get down over here, turn it over, grind it a little bit. Okay, see if we can get a big flake over here. Pretty nice. Come over here, down some, turn it over. There's a good thinning flake. Now, I'm going to try to preserve as much length as we can. So avoid hitting from the ends too much, but we got to do some trimming in there, especially there's a ridge right here, so we need to get ready for that. And make us I think it's about ready the way it is. See if we can get a big flake go down that ridge right here. Kind of crushed it in there. That's okay. Alright, let's turn this edge up some. Now, this edge is turned down now where we can hit up here and knock a good flake off this way. I need to hit in a little bit deeper. Make sure the edge is rounded. That was a nice flake. Oops, I'm messing up today. This bopper's too big for this piece. Gotta go down to a 2 inch. Nice big thinning flake there. A little trimming. Thin that tip area a little bit. Got a lot of thickness here, so we should probably get rid of that early on here. Turn this edge. There. Try to go down through here, big flake over here. Yeah. There. Try to get a big flat piece here. Bring this edge up some more. We're trying to preserve the length, but we got a lot of width here that we can use. Try to get some big thick area here. Make sure it's seated in the back of my hand good. Come down on this edge good and hard right through here. Nice. Okay. Do some more thinning. This piece is drooping down over here a bit, so we need to straighten that up. Make sure that edge is thick enough so that it doesn't crush when you hit it good and hard. It crushed, so I didn't do it right. Sometimes you think it's good enough and then you find out it isn't. That's okay though, we'll fix it. We'll fix that. Okay. Grinding good and hard. Now that bad spot is over here. I want a flake to go all the way through all of that. Put my finger on this hump here near that and pull. That was terrible. All right. I got a flake to kind of go up there and fix that bad area that I just put in there. Let's see what the damage is up here. We'll try to remove that, all this bad area here. We've got a lot of it. We're not out of the woods yet. That's pretty nice thinning flake. Okay, I think that's getting back right again. Okay, we got some thick area here. Chip down a little bit here. Bring that edge up. Grind it. Make it rounded. Try to make a big wide flake, just a wide flake here. Seat it in the back of your hand really good. Finger pressure in here. Just where we were talking about. Some secondary crushing in there a little bit, but that's okay. Now we got a ridge here. Look at that. That was beautiful. So we actually got us an overshot flake there, but it just barely took the edge off over here, just a little bit. If you don't actually remove some of the edge on the other side, it's not an overshot. It's just maybe edge to edge. But if you actually take off some of the edge and the flake, then you actually have an overshot. Anyway, that's an overshot flake. Massive thinning. This blade is getting much better now. Okay. Let's clean up some of this thickness here, and we'll probably have to go down on the size of the bopper. Crush that edge. Greatest cause of failure for a lot of would-be big flakes is the platform crushes, or it's not in the right place. So it takes a long time to learn just where to put the platform and then how to shape the platform, but it comes with experience. Okay, there's a bit of a high area here. I'm going to take a flake off here, get some of that thickness. That's pretty nice. Now we've got us a ridge here. So I'm going to get into there. Now I have kind of a nipple sticking out here. Nice ridge to follow. We should get a pretty broad, flat flake through here. And it thins this area here. Look at that. Beautiful. So we had us an isolated nipple up here, and I struck this flake in a way, in such an angle that the flake traveled all the way across the blade to the other side. That's edge to edge flaking. It didn't remove some of the outer, it didn't remove any of the edge over here. So if it had taken some of the edge with it when it came off, it would have been an overshot. But this is just edge to edge flaking. So have a isolated nipple below the center line, and nice big flake there. Nice thinning. Okay, I got some more thinning to do yet. This is a 1.5 inch bopper. I'm gonna use it because I'm not taking off very big flakes now. I'm just trying to target some areas. I got some ridge here now, so go up in here, make a isolated platform. Okay, I'm going to strike in here this way and try to remove this area here. When I tap on the blade, I'm feeling out the blade, checking for the center of mass and kind of testing where I want the blow, what angle I want, and that tapping helps me feel that out. There, about 3/4 of the way across. Nice thinning there. So let's see. You might say, well, there's a hinge right here. Well, that's fine. It's more than halfway across, and I'm going to remove it when I go to this side. So it's okay to have a hinge fracture in your rock if it goes far enough so that you can reach it from the other side. Okay. We're getting thin enough now, you have to really worry about where you put your platforms. Mostly you want to find ridges and go right down the middle of those ridges. going to try to hit here, going right straight across this ridge. There's a little bit of a remnant there, step from a previous flake. You can probably knock a little bit of that down. There. That might, sometimes that helps, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, I'm going to try to knock a pretty nice little flake right here. Perfect. Right up under all that bad area. And just nice flattening flake there. Blade is getting nice. Let's see where we got next. There's a good area here that needs some mass removal. So make a little nipple right here. Try not to remove too much of the base area or the tip, so I can keep the length. So be careful down in there. Make a little nipple right here. Hit on, going right that way. When I look at this, I see it's not up in the right place yet. It's too close to the center line. I need it to be a little bit higher here, so when I hit, I can go across here. So you come in here, chip down some more. Let's see, that looks a lot better. Now that nipple is more below center line, so I can strike a flake across here to get that high spot. Got it. Right through there. There's a little ripple right here, but that'll get gone when we eventually will have some more flakes in the basal area. Probably get that little ripple out later. Pretty minor. Okay, we got thickness up here. We better tend to. So I look up here and see where I need to strike first. Trying to keep the length. Sometimes you have to use some of the tip area so you can reach down where you need to. This is pretty tough because I had a couple of boo-boos up in here. There's one right there. We got to chip underneath all the boo-boos and make a nice surface underneath. I'm going to try to take one right here and meet this other flake that came from over here. Yeah, real nice blending flake there, and flattening all that area, and taking a flake out here made more of a ridge through here, and maybe now I can undercut this bad area here and meet this area over here. So we have an isolated platform. It's below center line. Here it's below the center line. Let's try to strike across there. Yeah, perfect. That flake dove underneath all of that bad stuff and got every bit of it out. Every bit of it's gone. And we're still avoiding taking off part of the tip. So that was pretty nice. Okay, so we got some thickness. Well, let's see. You have to take some time here and there and check your blade out and see where the extra mass is. We need to do a little bit of trimming and straightening right now. Sometimes it's hard to judge where the next flakes should go until you kind of trim it up a little bit. Overhanging areas throw you off. Okay, I got a thick area right here I'm going to try for. Get down here, make a platform. I've kind of messed that up. It's not too bad though. And try to strike at a larger angle so I don't go too far. It's really thin down in that region and I don't want to hinge over in here. So I take a little higher angle here. That's pretty good. It's leaving this area really nice and flat here. There's a little bit of a hinge right there. It's tiny, but see, it's halfway. So later on when I trim up this edge and shoot a flake across here, that'll be gone. Okay, so hunt around some more areas, see where I need to go. There's a ridge here. So come up here and turn the edge up a little bit, a little bit of grinding, flip it over, knock off that ridge, this ridge right here. So we need to be careful now. We're getting somewhat thin and you start to have to worry about vibrations and support, and that's really difficult to really explain to beginners, but as you practice you'll get the hang of it. Okay, so I'm going to hit right here and try to remove that ridge. I'm going to put my finger on the ridge and apply a little pressure by pulling my finger across the surface. That extra force on that ridge, that when the blade is thin like this, is going to help that flake to travel across. There. Perfect thinning flake right there. That was beautiful. We're not too thin, but we're getting thin on that tip area there, so we got to be careful. You're supposed to thin on the ends before you thin in the middle. That's the general wisdom, and I find that's a good idea myself. So and turn it around, you keep look at it, make sure you don't overdo one edge. Find out where the thick areas are. That's thick area here, so we were working on a nipple over here somewhere. Dip down over here. Most of the time you want a nipple right where the middle of the ridge is, but it just depends on the shape of the rock in the area. This is not the normal speed that I work at. When I'm doing a video, I work like 5 times faster than when I'm doing it for fun. And so, you know, normally I'd take more time and pressure flake around these nipples and make sure the shape is absolutely perfect before I strike a big flake. But for videos, I just use the grinder more than anything, and the grindstone, and I do my shaping with that instead of all that pressure flaking. Anyway, get kind of a nipple there and knock off this little bit of mass here. Little finger pressure there. I didn't hit it hard enough or deep enough. But the good news is I don't think I messed up. We'll see. I hope I didn't make a crack in it. There. That was pretty nice. We're on our way to thinness. That was kind of a scary flake there. I was afraid it was going to be too big, but I think it's just perfect. Now we got, because of a big flake here and a big flake there, we got kind of a ridge here. So we can do a little shaping. Sometimes I pressure flake with the end of the bopper. I need to be real careful here and not hit too hard. I don't want a big old hinge fracture in here. I just want to take off this little bit of mess right here. So it'd be a shorter flake, a shaping, blending flake right here. There, perfect. Yeah. I want to get as thin as I'm going to have before I start pressure flaking. So trying to get it about, my real goal is like 6 or 7 millimeters thick in the middle. I'm just barely above that right now. I'm something like 10 right there. Okay, we need a little bit of thickness going from here. That's right in the middle. Sometimes I make the platform just by grinding with a stone. There. Now we got a sticking out area here. We can knock us a flat flake through there. Look and see how much I need to go. Oh yeah, that was nice blending flake there. It was much flatter through here now. Okay, 2 or 3 more nice big flakes and we'll be ready for pressure. Okay, so I got some extra mass here. Make a little platform. A little bit of grinding. Very carefully, just take a little bit off right there. There. And just a little blending flake. And do a little bit of tidying up and straightening the blade. Sometimes I kind of hit a little bit with this stone. Grinding wheel, actually kind of percussion flake with the whole wheel as I'm grinding and just for time saving. This is pretty critical now. If it doesn't go enough and hinges right there, I'm going to be in trouble. So this got to be a real good blow, wide and deep enough to go underneath this spot here. So I'm going to isolate my platform just a little more because this is so important. Right now this is a very important flake and it's got to be just right. Everything got to be good, perfect. My platform is not quite right yet. There, I've see that isolated nipple right here, and if you look, if you can tell, I don't know, but it's below the center line of the piece, pretty much. So it's below center line and it's isolated, and it's should be able to get a flake there. I don't quite yet like my nipple there. Oh well, we'll see if it works. Well, I just said earlier, if it doesn't look quite right, it probably isn't. There. I should follow my own advice. That looks a lot better. Well, but I don't have an isolation now, so right there, a little bit there. I think that's fine. It's a little bit of a nipple here, and the angle is better for me now. So putting some finger pressure on there because I'm going to help pull that flake through that area. I messed up. I got worried. My edge crushed there. So let's see what we can do here. I have a high spot here. Might give us a chance to make a big flake to come under this way. So I'm going to try that. Got a big nipple here. Try to get a big wide rod flake. Runs all up underneath all this bad stuff here. And if it's all or nothing on this one. If I don't make it, that's probably going to be ruined right in here. And this is critical. Good back support in my hand. Little finger pressure over here. Good purposeful swing. No jitters. There. I think that was good enough. This area, a little bit of an area here, will probably gotten later with a little blending flake from either the edge or the base area. When we're gonna thin this base a little bit eventually, but not right now. It's pretty risky thinning the base, but you can do it. Thinning from the base. But that's such a tiny spot, I'm not worried about it right now. In fact, a little place like that can be, you can just use a stone or something and kind of grind that. It's probably fine to just leave that. It's kind of bothering me, it might not be bothering you. Anyway, that flake got underneath some bad area. And I have a tiny bit of a step right there, but that's going to be fine. Because later it's so close to the edge, it's going to go away. So all in all, we're still good. I haven't completely ruined it yet. Got some thickness in the middle. Got to tend to. So let's go across here with a few blending flakes. I'm getting scared of breaking it, so I'm starting to make mistakes. Have to get a little more confidence and give a good follow through. Let's see, I better go down here and get some of that over here. Nice big thinning flake that way. A nice thinning flake. Bring this edge up next to the flake here. When you're going for thin blades, you're going to have to put up with a few little imperfections toward the middle. And sometimes you just can't get it out. And when you try, when you shouldn't, you mess it all up. That was a nice blade, nice flake there. This blade is in good shape. A few more areas, kind of tidy up. We can remove some of this because of this over here, and besides this is crusty, and you have to be very careful when hitting on the ends. I should have cleaned that up a long time ago. But if you support it properly, you can get by. Okay, I'm going to quit banging around on that end. So get a little bit more right here. Take this little ridge off here. Got to be real careful here. I don't need to be hitting real hard in here. Okay, a little bit of bigger chunk out of there than I wanted to, but that's fine. Sometimes you get more than you want. We use our width to turn the edge and get some flakes to thin on this side here. Beautiful. Now, it went more than halfway across there. Did a real good job getting thinner right through there. Later we'll either pressure flake or whatever, and we'll remove this little bit of a step right there. The difference between a step and a hinge is the hinge comes up when the flake cracks through there. It comes up and out, but with a step, there's still a crack underneath some rock that's still left in the surface of the stone, and I can see there's a little crack right here that goes up under. So this is a step fracture. But often we just say step or hinge. It means about the same thing. It's got a place where the flake stopped and you wanted it to go further. Well, let's see what I'm getting pretty thin here. It's kind of scary to keep banging on this thing. I need a good flake right in here and I'll be pretty much done with percussion. This is kind of a real critical flake removal here because I'm so thin. If I don't hit just right or hold it just right, I could crack it in half. Oh, I got scared of it and I messed up. It's not over yet. I can still get underneath all of that with a nipple right over here and shoot this way. If I get my flake to run under this ridge here, and I'll clean all of this up. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful thinning flake there. Now look at this blade. Nice big broad blade. Getting in that target thickness in the middle that I wanted. There's just some right in here. Need a couple percussion flakes right in here, and if I can successfully do that, then we'll be completely done with percussion flaking of this blade. I want to quit on this blade now and finish it up later, but you'll notice when we made those big flakes, we got the blade worked down and thin, and we still have a lot of width here. So the reason you want that width is so you can turn edges and strike thinning flakes, and the more width you got, the more you can use for that thinning process. So this is a nice thin blade, and we didn't lose a lot of length, and should be a nice successful point later. Thank you for watching.